And I want to allow Rajat to introduce himself, guys. I wanted to introduce him to the community here. I came across Rajat's Chrome extension tool called Ask Steve, and boy, is this a useful Chrome extension. We love our Chrome extension. This is a useful Chrome extension for our community. I'll let Rajat introduce himself and say hello, and then I'll demo some things for you guys.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. My name is Rajat. I'm the founder at Ask Steve. Been working on it for about a year, and the whole premise behind Ask Steve is build these one-click powerful AI tools once, use them over and over again, and all those tools are with you in the browser wherever you are and can see your screen. So can pull data from the current LinkedIn profile or the PDF resume that you're looking at, et cetera. And so the whole idea is like bring all that power of AI to where you're actually doing your work. And just prior to that, I had spent 8 years at Google as a product manager. And in my last role there, I was the product management lead for all their internal HR technology, including their sourcing and recruiting software. Thanks. Take it away, Mike.
Awesome. But with Ask Steve, you also have the ability to use this Chrome extension, and it has this great sidebar here with the chat. And it's using the Gemini model. And this is a free Chrome extension, if I didn't mention it, that you can use with Gemini. But you also he also has the ability to use a private model. Like if you're running a small model on your computer and you want to use that, or your company has a proprietary model, you can use that. Or he also has, and if you want to use other models, there's more. That's kind of like the upgrade in his service, along with some other features that he'll notate here. But there are these tools that you can build and these buttons that you can build that are basically like the Copilot idea, I think, but you can customize these, and it's like no code customization. And so, for example, I built a way to capture like LinkedIn profiles onto this sheet, right? So let's say you're perusing through LinkedIn profiles, and I'm like, I want to be able to get LinkedIn profiles from here, and I want to try to parse this data, right? So normally you'd have to use some sort of AI or some sort of data provider to get LinkedIn data. Watch, if I just click capture candidates into Google Sheets, it is going to extract the data here, and it's going to parse it into those categories that we just talked about. And now it just takes a few seconds. You'll see it'll say it's complete, and it'll give you a link to the actual to the sheet that it writes to. And now it's going to be using Gemini to write it to the Google Doc. And then in the Google Doc here, you'll see it just added a row of data with Mike Santoro, with my LinkedIn URL, and with all of my data from my LinkedIn profile parsed. So like if you were excited about the last session that I did and some of the things, and you're like, well, this would be great, but what about LinkedIn? It's great that we can do resumes. Well, yeah, you could do LinkedIn like with a data provider and get data bulk, but you could also now go through LinkedIn profiles, find candidates from searches, and then continue to extract some of that data. So if I go into LinkedIn Recruiter here, and it works great on LinkedIn Recruiter as well. This was just mind-blowing to me. So like I click on this guy, Peter, right? And okay, this guy looks great. I want to capture this data into my sheet here. I'm going to click on my capture button. And within a few seconds, it's taking all his data from this LinkedIn profile. It's parsing it out into all those categories that we talked about. And in just a handful of seconds here, it writes it to that spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet then has that extra data, has Peter's data on here. In this case, I think it grabbed a few extras, it looks like.
Yeah, it did. The other people that were in that sidebar.
Yeah. So, but it's like it'll grab it off the regular public page, or it'll grab it off of here. And it's just amazing. I mean, you can really get a lot of, you can get the data that you want structured in this way. And the other thing that's neat is you could also parse the resumes in this fashion as well. And that's what I really, again, something else I found interesting. If we go to Indeed, for example, and we were running a search in Indeed like we did before, and we've got this guy Damon. Another feature here is with what I really like about how Rajat built this, guys, is that if you don't select anything, it'll just parse whatever's on the page, right? All the text from the page. But it will also, if you highlight something, similar to how Boolean Nav works, if you highlight something and then activate one of the buttons, it will use the highlighted text as the data set. So right now, if I highlight this resume like this, I can then click the capture button, and it's going to do the same thing, but it's going to parse only the data that I have highlighted, and it's going to then parse it onto the Google Doc here. So really, I mean, just mind-blowing stuff here. So you can like kind of have the same workflow. The idea here is, guys, you can have the same workflow even on Indeed, where you can go through resumes or go through candidates that you're looking at here, and you can, if I just hit like Control A, it'll select all, and then I can just one-click capture into Google Sheet, and it's going to then take that data and like basically take it out of Indeed's format, make it this nice structured format, and then write it to the Google Doc. So this guy was Kevin, and you'll see Kevin's data is right here. And what I like about this too is I have it built so that it'll actually grab the URL, so that if I click back on this later on, let's say I reduce these candidates to a smaller data set. So here's all the data here that we can search through, like I showed you before. Now you can just click on this hyperlink, and it'll actually basically take you back to that search page where you, like it's pulling the URL from the page so that you can then find that candidate again. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is if you were to like have a resume downloaded, he has a feature here. So I've got that downloaded. He has a feature built into Ask Steve. If I right click, I go to Ask Steve 2, and then I go to Open File Chat. There's a couple of ways to get to this, but this is one of the easiest ways. It'll go to a page that will run entirely in your browser, and then you can basically take the resume, pop it in here, and it will now parse the text from the resume in this fashion. And then from this page, after you kind of drag your resume there, from this page, you can click Capture the Candidate, and now it'll extract it from this page. So there's basically like a couple different ways that you can do it, and this just stays natively on in your browser. So it's capturing that data, and it's really, yeah, it's just super fast and free and super helpful. So that is one of my favorite features for using it. There are a lot of other use cases, and you can build your own tool. So just to show you the back end of that tool, and I'll show you a couple other use cases that I've built for this. So the back end of that tool for capture candidates, this is what it looks like. You go to Tools, and I will show you this too, guys. If I go to Add Tools, Rajat has already built out like a bunch of pre-made buttons, like the button that you saw. He already has the prompts ready for everything, and he has some packages. If I go to Install Packages, he has specific packages, guys, for HR. And you can install all of the HR buttons that he's developed. And here's what they are: summarize this, generate interview questions, make this friendly, or qualify this candidate, which is, he has all these kind of built in that you could then also modify, right? So it's like way beyond just your standard like Copilot, because you can modify it, customize all of these things. And I love how he had these different packages, install packages. Like for recruiters, he has like a package developed for recruiters with some nice videos, and like here are all the different buttons he created for recruiters that and I really like to, I would like maybe for you to show this one too, as I've seen you demo this one, Rajat, in a few minutes, but like extracting information from a web page. So all of you guys that love to extract information from like a conference list page, you could basically just like highlight it and hit the button, and he has a great like scraper built in that's super fast and parses it all, puts it into a Google Doc for you. So like super helpful. I really love that. You get to that by Add Tools, and then there was a button that said Install Curated Packages. But look, if you wanted to build your own, it is so easy. And then this is the prompt that I have here that I've adopted that will basically give into Gemini, which has a huge context window. And I could put this really long prompt in to instruct it on how to take the text and parse it into these different categories. And then,
just to clarify, Mike, you didn't actually have to write most of that prompt. Like it auto-generated it from your spreadsheet.
That is correct, and we should demo that in a bit. But there's a scrapers and AI here. It links to your spreadsheet. So all you have to do is go to this button here and basically link it to your Google Doc, the spreadsheet that you want it to go. And then even before you write the prompt, Rajat is right. You click Generate Prompt here, and it will basically create a prompt for you with all the header rows already in it, so that no matter what kind of a spreadsheet you're using, what kind of header rows, in whatever format that you want, it will parse it all into that format that and you can give it instructions, very specific instructions for what to grab for each of those columns, and do it with natural language. And I mean, like, I know Brett Fagg, if Brett's here, he's going to be like going bananas. This is phenomenal. And it's super easy to program and test out and iterate. So that is the one way that I've really found it to be really helpful, is grabbing resumes, grabbing LinkedIn data, putting it into the sheet. So that's one. And that was kind of the first part of my talk in the last session.
Yeah.
So grab the header row, go here, find all candidates. Here's the prompt with plant manager and job title 1 or headline, and quality in job title 2 or 3. Click OK. It should now do it. Yep, there it is. Now it's going to build this query here, which is similar to the query that was built out. I'm going to copy this, and now I'm going to take it and put it into my query builder. Now you could just paste that into, just open up a new tab and paste it in there, but I think it's even more useful to just come here, paste that query that it built, and it's going to grab the right things here, and it's going to, because it knows where the columns are, and I'm going to click Run Query. And now a complex, weird search like that, it's going to create a new tab. It's going to enter that query in and pull that data. And now you have people that are plant managers here, and they had quality as their job title 2 or 3. I mean, so you can use this to create like complex things and use natural language. And he just made some of these updates to be able to interact with Google Sheets. And this can really do awesome things with Google Sheets, and it actually can read the data on Google Sheets, and you can see it.
Okay. When you install it, you get the Ask Steve tab that you can pull open and close, and you get these one-click buttons. You get a couple by default right out of the box, and one of these is this Summarize This button, which Mark Hamill was showing, kind of copying and pasting and all that. But here you just press the button and you get a summary of the document, and you can configure what that summary looks like. So if we go into Tools and we configure it, we can see exactly how it's built. Here's some text I need some help with. This is indicating a variable, kind of like Marin was talking about, putting variables and prompts. Same exact idea. Like, build these things once, put variables in them, and then they can slot in either the selected content from the page or the whole page. And then this is the format I want the output in. And it's really easy to change this. Always give me results in Spanish. And then when I run it, now I'm going to get all my summaries in Spanish. Like, it's that fast and easy to change a tool and update it. And this works on, as Mike showed, like PDFs, web pages, YouTube videos. You can chat with PDFs and ask questions about them. All that kind of stuff works with all those tools. And then just showing like how quick it was to create one of those scraper tools. This is one of my...
this is a great use case.
Yeah, so one of my Google Sheets, and actually, so I just added this new capability where like you just go to the Google Sheet, you open up the side panel and you press New, and it says, hey, do you want to auto create an AI scraper for this sheet? I say yes, and then it's actually going to go make sure it has access to the document. If it doesn't, it will ask you to give it. And then it just created an AI scraper for the sheet, added a new button here, and
that's awesome.
See, it auto-generated the prompt, and it's going to guess, the LLM is going to guess what to put in each column based on the column header. But if there's not enough data there, you can always give it more information. Like you can say, for LinkedIn search URL, always use X, Y, and Z. And you put that in the prompt and you save it. And then you've basically given the LLM a hint about how you want that column filled in. So super easy now to create scrapers. And this works with Sheets, with Excel, with Docs, and with Calendar out of the box. Calendar is an example that I just posted on LinkedIn. Like I had the SOSU agenda here, and I wanted to get all these things on my calendar so I could see what time, and I didn't want to copy them in my hand. I also didn't want to translate from Central European time to Central Standard Time in the US. So I just built a one-click scraper for my calendar, and I click on, oops, I have something selected there. Okay, and then it's going to grab all this data from this page, all the entries, and anything that's not already happened yet, it's going to add as an event to my calendar. And so you can see how you can now like scrape all this data and write it to various places, whether it's Sheets or Calendar or whatever. And then two Last couple things I'll show you is, so here we'll see it's writing the data to the calendar right now. It's probably writing about 8 or 9 events, I would guess. If we go look here now at the calendar and I refresh, we can see that, yes, it's added all the events from both days. Whenever
So
you're
cool. That's so cool.
Yeah. Whenever you're writing content, like here I am in Gmail, there's a little button here, the Ask Steve button, and you can run any of those tools on the text that you're writing right now. So here I wrote this email, like really poorly, bad English, bad grammar. I'm going to click on this and pick one of my tools, in this case, the Improve This Email tool, and then it's going to just rewrite it for me, like right there, without me doing anything. So it made that call to the LLM and then just rewrote my email for me right in line. And that could work in any web app, whether it's like Workday or some other ATS or your mail client. And the last thing I'll show is, or I guess I got 2 more things. Is that cool, Mike? Or do you have?
Yeah, no, keep going. I want you to show the conference scrape one if you have that one queued up.
And so this, I already have these scrapers built for this Google Sheet. And so here I've got like, I'll clear out this sheet. And now I can go highlight a number of these people, and I can hit both these buttons, do the exact same thing. And it's actually going to take all those people from unstructured data into structured data and then write them directly into that sheet. So it's like kind of that fast to capture people. And then there is a separate scraper that just gives you the information written out for you if you want to copy and paste it yourself. But this one actually is kind of supersedes that because it can write directly into the sheet now.
Rajat, point out to them, go back to that sheet that it wrote to, guys. Check out what he did here is he actually also programmed it using in his prompt so that it would add the LinkedIn search URL. And look how brilliant this is. Basically, it's going to take their name and the job title information, and it's going to also create the prompt where if he clicks on that, it's going to open up a people search in basic LinkedIn so that you can basically more easily find that person's profile. I mean, how cool is that? And it does it automatically, and it's all like programmed. And he has this particular one, I believe, is pre-programmed as one of those packages that you have, right? Yeah, he has this already like pre-programmed. You can just grab like his stock template of this button, and then you have this beautiful scraper that can take data like this and put it into whatever format. And if you wanted another column here with another point of data, it's just so simple to just add another column and describe what you want to the LLM to import, because maybe you have a different type of page that you're trying to scrape from, a different type of information that you want to grab. And as long as you're clear with the LLM, it will grab that and it'll do whatever instructions you want it to do. Like in this case, create a link that is going to also, with appending whatever it finds onto a URL so that it can run a search like this. I mean, really, really cool.
Exactly.
You can do this. Think about doing this with company data too. Like if you're trying to do company research and you're, scraping company pages, you're going to put data in here, and you can have it basically program however you want that company page data structured into here.
Yeah, and so what I can do, like I saw it put first name and last name, and that's kind of what it just guessed to do based on this title. But I can say for the LinkedIn search URL, always use first name, last name, and company, and then hit save. And now if I go select some other people here on this page and do this again, now if we go look at the LinkedIn search URLs, they're going to get added. Here we can see that it's got first name, last name, and company for everybody. And so it's like kind of that easy to configure what you want to go into those various columns.
So awesome. So awesome.
Yeah, so like 1 or 2 more things on LinkedIn. You'll notice these buttons. These buttons only appear on people's profile pages. You can configure buttons to only appear on certain websites or certain pages. In this one, I've got like create a recruiting outreach message where I can click on it and then I can paste in my current job rec and just hit OK. And it will write a custom message to this person based on their LinkedIn profile and the rec.
But here's the point here, guys. I got to interrupt you, Rajat, here. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of tools that do this, guys, but you can program this, customize this into whatever your style is.
That's right.
So this prompt here, if you don't like the way he wrote it, you give it a one shot. You give it, hey, here's an example of how I like to write. Structure it this way. Put this many bullet points, and it will. You can also program it. Rajat, I don't know if you're going to show this, but you could also have it select variables from the page very easily, Rajat, if you want to demo this real quick, where it's like it's going to grab the person's name and it's going to grab, you can have it grab like basically give the LLM even more specific instructions. Check this out. Double bracket their name. This is their company, right? And so if you put something in double brackets like that, it's very simple to understand. It will require those to be variables that it's going to then look for on the page, and then you can assign those variables whatever you want.
Yeah. So let's see, pull data. Let's call that. Okay. And so I'm going to go over to add this as a button, and then I'm going to button settings, and then under advanced options here, I can pick where to get these off the page. So I can
check this out.
Name, and it's going to get it from there. Click on company, and it will get it from, I'll pull that from here, and then roll this one, right? And then I can also write the results into the page, which is actually kind of interesting too. So like in the case of Ruchi, I actually know her, so I have a message field, and I can say I want to write the results directly into there. And so now if I don't have this actually doing anything, I can say like, write a note to this person. Let's just try that. Let's see what kind of writes. And then hit run. And then, okay, it just took that. Hi, Ruchi. I had an idea about Android engagement. So it pulled her role and it pulled her name, and it just wrote like a random note, like right into the LinkedIn messaging field.
So guys, do you see that? Like you can program it and use the variables, customize the variables that you want. I mean, it's brilliant. It is just absolutely brilliant to be able to, you could use the AI and give it the guidance and the direction to select what you wanted to select on the page and to pull what you wanted to pull. And it's that easy to program this scraper. Works great on LinkedIn's like company pages. If you want to pull data from company pages, you could tell it exactly which data you want, the description section, the specialties, whatever those things are. It's really, really, really awesome in that sense. Go ahead.
So one last thing, which is this is my Salesforce. And what you can do with Ask Steve also is instead of, there's kind of basically three kinds of tools. Ones that just call LLMs and return the data back, which is like summarize this for me or process this for me. Ones that do that and then write the results out into Sheets or Docs or Slack or whatever you want. And then ones that just call APIs. And if you call an API, then that API can do anything that you can do with code. So we've been talking about N8N a little bit in the chat. This is an API that I built using N8N, and it basically takes an unstructured lead, turns it into structured data, writes it into Salesforce, pulls out the company name, queries HubSpot and Google Sheets with that company name, and then returns the results to me all like right where I'm already at. So I can go say, like pick Colette here, and I can click this button and it will call that exact API I just showed you. Take unstructured data, write it into structured data, hit all those software systems. And so with one click now, I'm hitting an AI and 3 different enterprise software systems, and all that data is coming back. She's been written to Salesforce now. Here, oh, I don't think it's a while to update. And then it's queried HubSpot and pulled live data out of there, and Google Sheets to do that as well. So just all the different kind of flexibility that you have with this tool. And then I guess the last thing I should mention is pricing model. It is free to use for most of the functionality. If you put in your own Gemini or Mistral API key that you can get for free from Gemini, Google or Mistral, and then you can use most of the product free forever. And it's only if you do want to connect to a premium model or call an API or use some of the premium connectors like Airtable and Notion, et cetera, that you need the premium plan. And if you do, then we have a special code for you. If you just use SOSUAI as a promo code, you can get 50% off the first year.
Question. Victor asked, does it take data from the browser directly, already downloaded, or generate additional requests to LinkedIn? I think what we're getting at is there the potential for the LinkedIn police to come after you?
Yeah, it does not make an additional request to LinkedIn. So it is using exactly what's in the browser. Whether the LinkedIn police come after you or not, that's I guess a separate issue.
I don't know why I even mentioned that.
Sure.
Can I also scrape the information in a data sheet like Excel, or is it just relegated to Google Sheets, or are there other formats that it can ingest?
It can scrape into Excel for the web. So if you have an Excel sheet uploaded to OneDrive, it can scrape into that. That's part of the free plan. So Sheets, Docs, Google Calendar, and Microsoft Excel for the web are all free. And then part of the premium plan is Airtable, Notion, and Slack.
Which would make sense. Here's a question that harkens back to the old days of LinkedIn Recruiter. Can it grab the whole talent pool in the project without opening the individual profiles?
What's the talent? I don't know what a talent pool in a project.
Okay, yeah, a project. Yeah, in LinkedIn Recruiter, there are projects. In the old days,
Yeah.
we used to be able to suck them all in at once.
Yeah.
But without looking at individual, what can it glean from top level scraping versus going down to multiple levels?
It can. So on the LinkedIn Recruiter page, when you're in the search results page, I think there's 25 results on each page, single page.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of data even on that page before you click into the next window that pulls out. And if you can build it so it'll take 25 at a time and grab all of those data that is just on, which is still quite a lot of data on that initial search results page. So yeah, you could build it to pull that. If you wanted all of their work history, then you'd have to kind of go to the next page and do it individually on each of those.
Yeah. He writes, given plugins are a hot topic for IT teams,
yeah,
I'm curious, what level of browser access does Ask Steve require, and how do you safeguard sensitive company or client data from a business IT perspective?
Yep. Great question. So Ask Steve asks for permissions to like read and write from all websites. It needs to do that in order to be able to read all that content off the page, and then also inject content into the page, like the tab and the buttons and things like that. The way I built this from the beginning, coming out of Google, I kind of like had a good point of view, I think, about like what would be suitable in an enterprise. And so if you look at most AI Chrome extensions today, they have a server in the middle. They basically you get 1,000 credits or you pay for 5,000 credits, and they run down your credits and everything goes through their server. So all your data travels through them. And I was like, that's not going to fly in a company, never. And so the way Ask Steve is architected is Chrome extension running on your computer. This is why I also did the bring your own API key model. You put in your own API key, and now your computer is talking directly to whatever LLM you've decided. And I have no server in the mix. So as long as you trust that LLM provider, that third-party provider, and that could either be a paid account from OpenAI or Anthropic or Google that says they won't use your training data, or an on-premise large language model running that like your company has decided to run inside your firewall, or even one running on your own computer as a local model, then that's kind of the way it happens. And so I see nothing stuff stays either on your computer or your computer and only goes to whatever LLM you've decided it should go to.
Which actually is interesting, but in looking at that page on Ask Steve where it asked to put in your API key, it seemed it was a little uncertain if you could use any LLM, but you can. So maybe we need to make that clearer on Ask Steve. So, ask Steve about that.
So for free, you can use the Gemini key or a Mistral key. Gemini is available most of the world, and not, I think, EU, Switzerland, and the UK for free, but Mistral is available around the world.
Yeah.
So those are the two you can put in. And then on the premium plan, you can connect to any model you want.
Good to know. And finally, I'm a little unsure of this question. Will it also paginate?
Not yet. That is something that I'm thinking about on like the kind of my list of next to-dos, is to figure out how to do kind of auto scrolling and potentially pagination as well.
I'll bet you this community has a lot of suggestions for you.
Yeah, that's great. I love it.
Mike, Rajat, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
I'm looking forward to people to really dive into Ask Steve. And let's